Hello, mysterious seekers. Welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into the eerie tale of our late-night encounter, do us a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We promise to keep bringing you these spine-tingling true stories. So, let's begin. Last night, as the clock was striking the witching hour, I found myself in need of clean clothes for the following day. It was an ordinary late-night laundry run, or so we thought. My oldest son, always the night owl, decided to tag along. There we were, just a father and son, shoving piles of clothes into the humming machines at 2 a.m., oblivious to the strange twist our night was about to take. Little did we know our seemingly mundane trip to the laundromat would soon turn into an encounter that would chill us to our very core. Stay tuned as we delve into the mystery that unfolded in the most unexpected of places, a McDonald's drive-thru. If I told you what I saw last night, you would not believe me. You see, life is full of the expected and the unexpected, and what I experienced was a hair-raising cocktail of both. I know it sounds terribly ambiguous to start off like that, but trust me, what I'm about to narrate isn't something that can be outlined in a few words. It requires an explanation in order to capture the essence of the incident. It was late, pitch dark, and the entire town was enveloped in an eerie silence, the kind that could make even the bravest of hearts flutter. I had initially planned to hit the bed early that night, but as fate would have it, things took an unsettling turn. My oldest son had reminded me about a heap of laundry that had been pending for a while, so we decided to tackle it together. After all, burning the midnight oil becomes less of a chore when you have company. I remember glancing up at the clock. It was 2 a.m., a time when the only sound you expect to hear is the monotonous chiming of the grandfather clock. Our small town does not sleep. It just settles down. The laundromat was merely a stone's throw away from our house, so we decided to walk, a decision I would question repeatedly later. I remember the chill of the night as we loaded our laundry and set the cycles running. Next, we thought of quenching our thirst. We decided to visit the nearby McDonald's, a 24/7 outlet that was our sanctuary on countless nights. The drive-thru was bustling with action. A snake-like line of cars had formed patiently for their turn. A quick head count showed about 5 or 6 cars ahead of us, but what caught my eye was their motionless state. They were sitting ducks, frozen in time. The wait was excruciating. We were clocking in about 5 minutes already. I remember discussing with my son on whether we should simply head home or wait it out. Growing impatient, I made the decision to maneuver around the car in front of me and switch to the next drive-thru lane. McDonald's, after all, features 2 such lanes for convenience. As I was pulling around, my curiosity got the better of. I couldn't help but steal a glance into the stationary car that had been obstructing our path. The sight that met my eyes was inexplicably chilling. I'm not exaggerating when I say that both the driver and the passenger looked lifeless. Their heads tilted all the way back, eyes shut, a picture of absolute tranquility, but in the most terrifying manner. They were motionless, devoid of any signs of life, like mannequins frozen in their seats. The sight was so shocking that for a moment I forgot how to react. Even my son seemed to be in a state of shock, his eyes wide and mouth agape. Gathering my wits, I managed to pull out of the drive-thru, but not before we encountered another such car. This one too had all its passengers in the same eerie state, the sight of which sent a wave of panic coursing through my veins. I couldn't help but think of the worst. My mind raced to the most horrifying of possibilities, of the passengers being shot or possibly murdered. The entire scene resembled the plot of a horror movie, or worse, a tangible representation of the end of the world. My immediate reaction was pure instinct. I hit the gas brutally, wanting to put as much distance between us and that horrifying sight. My son, still in shock, managed to call 911 and relay the situation to them. They promised to send an officer to check the situation, but those few minutes of waiting felt like an eternity. Relief washed over us when the officer called us back, assuring that everything was fine at McDonald's. But was it really fine? We had seen it with our own eyes, had witnessed the harrowing sight. Despite the assurance, the seed of fear had been planted and it continued to grow within us. The car in front of us, those people, they had looked dead. This incident was not just terrifying, it was deeply confusing. The image of those lifeless bodies still haunts me. Their closed eyes, the tilted heads, the everything is etched in my memory. Was it a hallucination or was it a real-life nightmare? To this day, I can't wrap my head around what we saw or why. This was undoubtedly the most terrifying experience of my life. I'm still scared over it. In the aftermath of the spine-chilling encounter at the drive-thru, our minds were flooded with a barrage of questions. What had we just witnessed? Was it a trick of light or a sinister play of shadows? Or were we pawns in a game far more complex than we could understand? Our curiosity piqued, we decided to search for the missing pieces of this cryptic puzzle that had so abruptly unfolded before us. When we returned home, we found ourselves in the dimly lit living room, the lingering quietness of the night amplifying our sense of uneasiness. My son and I, numbed from the shocking experience, decided that we would lead our own investigation. We began by trying to reconstruct the night's events, to gather the shattered fragments of the mystery. Our first question was quite simple. Were those people we saw at the drive-thru really dead? The mere thought sent reverberations of terror through us. The officer had tried to pacify us with his assurances, but the disturbing images we saw played repeatedly in our minds. Could it have been a grotesque prank? But who would orchestrate such a disturbing act in the dead of the night? It defied all logic. The more we pondered, the more labyrinthine our predicament seemed. An alternative theory we considered was the possibility of a glitch in the matrix. Was it possible that we had indeed experienced a momentary fracture in the fabric of reality, a hiccup in the simulation that we call life? It was a thought that seemed unspeakably bizarre, yet, considering the circumstances, not entirely implausible. We turned to the vast expanse of the internet, hoping to find accounts of similar experiences. Could there be others who had faced such eerie incidents? To our amazement, we discovered numerous stories of people reporting glitches, situations that defied all logical explanation. Each narrative was unique in its own way, adding to the uncanny atmosphere that had pervaded our living room. The more we read, the more immersed we became in this strange world of unexplained phenomena. There were tales of objects inexplicably appearing and disappearing, of time loops that defied the universal laws of physics, and doppelgangers that challenged the very essence of identity. These accounts were as captivating as they were terrifying. Our late-night adventure had spiraled into a quest for truth that transcended our initial drive-thru encounter. The mystery of our experience remained unresolved, but we had inadvertently plunged into a world of inexplicable occurrences. A world where reality seemed to contort and mutate in the most unnerving ways. As we descended further into the metaphorical rabbit hole, we couldn't help but question our reality. Were we living in a simulation? Had we witnessed a glitch in the matrix? These questions were haunting, yet they were irresistible in their intrigue. The night was no longer about a peculiar drive-thru encounter. It had transformed into a philosophical exploration of reality. Was life as we understood it real? Or was it simply a sophisticated illusion, a figment of cosmic imagination? The thought was both terrifying and intriguing, and we knew we had a long night ahead of us. As we delved deeper into the Matrix, we stumbled upon a story that held an eerie resemblance to our own. This story was not just any other story, it was a narrative that shook us to our core, a tale that reflected our own experiences and fears. It was a story that represented the unexplained, the inexplicable, and the seemingly impossible events that we had encountered in our journey into the Matrix. The protagonist, the tale, was a man, a common man, who, like us, had experienced an inexplicable event that left him questioning the very fabric of his existence. The man, known in his professional circles as a dedicated software engineer, had been engrossed in his work late one night when he noticed something peculiar. His office, a place that was usually a hub of activity, was frighteningly silent. So silent, in fact, that the only sound to be heard was the rhythmic ticking of the clock on the wall. A sound that had become a metronome to his late-night deadlines. As he turned to check the time, expecting the hands of the clock to have advanced, he noticed that the clock was frozen. Frozen at a time that was as odd as the situation he found himself in. 2:30 a.m. He dismissed it as a malfunctioning clock, a small glitch that was a common occurrence in his technology-driven world. He decided to cross-check the time on his phone, a device that was more reliable than the old wall clock. However, to his utter surprise and increasing fear, his phone too displayed the same time, 2:30 a.m. His heartbeat quickened as he checked his computer. Yet again, it was 2:30 a.m. A cold shiver ran down his spine like a sudden jolt of electricity. The display of the same time on 3 different devices was too much of a coincidence. He decided to investigate further and stepped outside his cubicle. only to find that the office was not just quiet, but completely deserted. In a state of growing panic and confusion, he rushed towards the office window. The city, which was famously known as the city that sleeps, was eerily still. Not a single soul could be seen on the streets. Not a single light was on in the buildings across the street, as if the city itself had fallen into a deep slumber. It was as if time itself had stopped, had frozen, trapping everyone in that moment. The man found himself trapped in a surreal situation, a moment that seemed to stretch on forever. He remembered how he spent what felt like hours in that frozen time, feeling isolated and terrified. The eerie silence, the stillness, the inexplicable event was frightening and hard to comprehend. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it ended. The office sprang back to life with the familiar sounds of beeping computers and ringing phones. The city outside was bustling with the early morning traffic, and the clock on his wall moved on, showing 2:31 a.m. This story resonated with us, mirroring our own encounter with the inexplicable. It was another testament to the existence of glitches in the Matrix, another narrative that fueled our curiosity, and another mystery that begged to be solved. It reminded us of our purpose, of our mission to explore the unexplained and seek the truth. As we delved deeper into the night, we realized that we had embarked on a journey that was much more than a late-night adventure. We had become explorers of the unknown, seekers of truth in a world where reality was not what it seemed. The night was far from over, and the mysteries of the Matrix were waiting to be unraveled. As we delved deeper, we braced ourselves for the unsettling revelations that awaited us. As we continued our investigation into the Matrix, we found ourselves drawn to the story of an extraordinary woman named Lisa. No different from any of us, Lisa lived an ordinary life as an office worker in a quiet, inconsequential small town. However, life unveiled its mysteries to her in a fascinating way one fateful day, taking her on a journey that was far from ordinary. Our tale intrigue begins on an otherwise uneventful Saturday. Lisa, like any regular person, was relishing the comfort of her home. Eager to make the most out of her day off, Lisa decided to engage in some spring cleaning. It was an ordinary chore, a mundane task. Still, as she moved the vacuum cleaner around her living room, she noticed something entirely out of the ordinary. The ornate wall clock read exactly 11:15 a.m., but a strange feeling engulfed her. It felt like she had been cleaning for an extended period, much longer than what the clock suggested. She dismissed this anomaly, attributing it to fatigue. However, events took a peculiar turn when she decided to clean her kitchen. The digital clock on the stove was stuck at the same time, 11:15 a.m. Lisa found this strange coincidence hard to dismiss, but she shook it off, attributing it perhaps to a strange glitch in her perception of time. But as she made her way upstairs to clean her bedroom, she saw with a growing sense of dread that the time on the alarm clock by her bed also read 11:15 a.m. Lisa was now deeply unsettled. She mechanically retrieved her phone from her pocket to verify the time, her heart pounding against her ribcage. You could cut through her surprise with a knife when she saw that her phone too displayed the time as 11:15 a.m. A cold shock ran down her spine. Fear, confusion, and disbelief swirled around her mind as she grappled with the surreal reality. It was as if she was trapped in a moment that was frozen in time, a moment that refused to pass. Seeking to dispel the growing unease, she paced around her house, attempting to make sense of the strange phenomena. However, the situation only seemed more bizarre as all the clocks she encountered showed the same time, 11:15 a.m. It was as if time had stopped, trapping her in an endless loop that felt like eternity. Her mind racing for a logical explanation, Lisa dialed her friend's number, seeking the comfort of a familiar voice. She hoped that this was just a bizarre coincidence, a result of some strange malfunctioning of all her timekeeping devices. But when her friend picked up the phone and casually asked, "Do you know what time it is, Lisa?" she dropped her blood running cold. The time, much to her horror, was still stuck at 11:15 a.m. She felt like she was trapped in a horrifying nightmare, a never-ending void where time stood still. The silence in her house was deafening. The stillness of time was suffocating. She was alone, and trapped in a moment that seemed to stretch out endlessly into eternity. And then, just as abruptly as it had started, the moment passed. The clocks resumed their countdown, ticking away the seconds. The time on her phone changed to 11:16 a.m. and everything returned to normalcy. This was another narrative that resonated with our own experiences, another proof of the existence of glitches in the Matrix, another mystery that begged to be solved. As we delved deeper into the labyrinth of the unknown, we realized that we were not just investigators, but explorers navigating through uncharted territories, seekers of truth in a world where reality was not what it seemed. The night was far from over, and the intricacies of the Matrix were waiting to be unraveled. As we delved deeper, we braced ourselves for the unsettling revelations that awaited us. In the world of the Matrix, the line between the ordinary and extraordinary blurs. After Lisa's encounter with the frozen moment, we find ourselves questioning the very fabric of reality. And as we delve deeper, the mysteries of the Matrix only seem to grow, leading us to another peculiar incident. Our story shifts to a quaint little town, seemingly untouched by the hands of time. The town, with its cobblestone paths and antique structures, seemed to exist in a different era. But as we soon found out, this wasn't merely figurative. In the heart of this town, there was a large antique clock, a remnant from the bygone era. The townsfolk took pride in it, considering it a symbol of their rich heritage. The clock, despite its age, was meticulously maintained and kept accurate to the second. However, on a fateful day, the clock seemed to develop a mind of its own. The time on the clock suddenly froze at 11:15 a.m., sending the townsfolk into a frenzy. The clock that had been ticking away for centuries now stood still, its hands stubbornly pointing to 11:15. The town's clockmaker, a wise old man, tried his best to fix the anomaly, but to no avail. The clock refused to budge from the time. As word of this strange phenomenon spread, it reached the ears of Lisa, who was still grappling with her own experience. Intrigued by the similarity, Lisa decided to visit the town and investigate the matter herself. As she stood before the frozen clock, she felt a chill run down her spine. The time on the clock, 11:15 a.m., was the same time at which she had experienced her glitch. The townsfolk, aware of Lisa's experience, looked at her with hope. They believed that she, being a victim of a similar occurrence, might have some insight into the situation. Lisa, although unsure, agreed to help. She spent the rest of the day closely observing the clock and talking to the townsfolk, hoping to find some clue that might explain the phenomenon. As the day turned into night, Lisa found herself standing before the clock, lost in thought. Just when she was about to give up, something miraculous happened. The clock, which had been frozen all day, started ticking again. The time shifted from 11:15 a.m. to 11:16 a.m., and then it continued ticking as if nothing had happened. The townsfolk, overjoyed by this turn of events, celebrated their victory over the glitch in the Matrix. Lisa, although happy for them, couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. She couldn't ignore the striking similarity between her experience and the town's clock. It seemed as if the Matrix was trying to communicate something, a message hidden in the timeless paradox. Before we continue unraveling the mysteries of the Matrix, let's take a quick moment to remind you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us delve deeper into these mysteries. Let's reach that 1,000 subscriber mark together. Now, back to our exploration of the enigma of the eternal moment. Continuing our journey into the Matrix, we now delve into another captivating tale that challenges the boundaries of our perceived reality. This tale, much like the narrative of Lisa we previously discussed, revolves around the intriguing and somewhat eerie manipulation of the concept of time. Yet this story introduces us to a new character, a man whose life is about to get turned upside down. His name, Mark. Mark, known for his dedication and commitment to his work, was one of those rare individuals who left nothing to chance. A workaholic by nature, Mark's life revolved around patterns and repetition. He was known not only for his punctuality, but also for his strict adherence to a daily routine that was as predictable as the sunrise. The ticking of the clock, the turning of the calendar pages. Everything in Mark's life was measured and neatly categorized into time slots. One ordinary day, as he was preparing to leave his office after yet another long day spent buried in paperwork, he noticed something that seemed slightly out of place. The time displayed on his wristwatch, his trusted old companion, showed 5:15 p.m. However, upon glancing towards the city square, his eyes landed on the large clock tower, a monumental edifice that stood tall and proud over the city's skyline. This clock, a sight as familiar to him as his own reflection, showed a different time, 5 p.m. Mark, being a man of logic and reasoning, dismissed this as a minor discrepancy. maybe due to some mechanical issue with the tower clock. With a mental shrug, he continued on his journey home. However, as his house came into view, Mark couldn't shake off a nagging feeling of unease. Glancing at his wristwatch, Mark's brow furrowed in confusion as it still read 5:15 p.m. In search, he checked his phone, hoping it would display the correct time and put an end to the strange occurrence. But to his mounting disquiet, it too showed the same time. The queer resemblance to Lisa's story, which he had heard of only a few days prior, was not lost on him. A cold shiver ran down his spine, chilling him to the bone. Apprehensive, Mark entered his house, half expecting a bizarre phenomenon to greet him. He imagined all the clocks inside his home frozen in time at 5:15 p.m., mirroring his wristwatch and phone. However, much to his relief, the clocks in his house were functioning correctly, each displaying the correct time. Taking a deep breath, Mark sighed audibly, attributing the earlier anomaly to a simple malfunction of his wristwatch and phone. Deciding it was best to forget the strange incident, Mark tried to settle down for the evening. He switched on his TV to enjoy his favorite show as a way to distract himself. However, as he glanced at the time displayed on the TV screen, his heart skipped a beat. It was stuck at 5:15 p.m. A sense of impending dread washed over him. Frantically, he checked his wristwatch and phone, only to find that they were both stuck stubbornly at the same time. He made several attempts to reboot his devices, resetting the time manually, praying this would rectify the issue. But his efforts were in vain. Panic started to creep in, his pulse quickened, and a cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Just as he was about to lose all hope, the time on his devices started ticking once again. The time on his TV displayed the current time, and his wristwatch and phone were functioning normally. Mark was left a state of bewilderment and disbelief, his mind struggling to comprehend the strange ordeal he had just been through. Was it merely a coincidence that both Lisa and Mark had experienced a similar glitch in the Matrix? Or was there a more profound link, a thread that tied their experiences together, revealing some hidden truth that we were yet to uncover? The mysteries of the Matrix remained unsolved, the veil hiding its secrets still intact. And as we delved deeper into the Matrix, we realized we were standing on the edge of a precipice, a revelation that held the potential to shatter our understanding of reality. In the aftermath of the thought-provoking incident involving Mark, where he had a brush with the enigma of the eternal moment, a new chapter of the narrative unfolds. This narrative takes us on a fresh journey, much like the stories of Lisa and Mark, which dared to push against the perceived confines of our reality. It is at this juncture that we are introduced to a new character, Sarah, a woman of intellectual prowess and a scientist of remarkable caliber, known for her groundbreaking research and contributions to the field of quantum physics. Sarah, driven by curiosity and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, finds herself intrigued by the narratives of Lisa and Mark. She has heard their stories, their peculiar experiences that were so uncannily similar, and begins to question the very nature of reality. She wonders if there is a possibility of the existence of parallel realities, an idea that is as fascinating as it is terrifying. Sarah, as a scientist, is unable to dismiss the eerie similarities in Lisa's and Mark's experiences as merely coincidences. She probes deeper, questioning if these were mere glitches in the Matrix that we perceive as reality, or if they are indicative of something far more intricate, complex and profound. Could they be glimpses or echoes of realities that run parallel to ours, unseen and unexplored? One night, while deeply engrossed in her research, Sarah, driven by her insatiable curiosity and scientific rigor, stumbles upon a revolutionary hypothesis. In her groundbreaking theory, she proposes that Lisa and Mark's experiences were not just random glitches, but potentially instances of realities overlapping each other, almost like waves intersecting in a vast ocean. According to her, multiple realities exist, each with its own timeline and its own unique version of events. In order to validate her theory, Sarah designs a complex experiment. Her tool of choice is a highly sophisticated quantum computer, a marvel of modern technology. She believes this machine has the potential to manipulate the very fabric of time and space, allowing her a rare glimpse into these parallel realities that she theorizes. As the experiment begins, Sarah watches the computer screen with bated breath, her heart thudding in anticipation. The screen starts to flicker, the pixels dancing in a hypnotic rhythm. Suddenly, she sees an image that leaves her utterly stunned. It's her reflection, but in an entirely different setting, wearing unfamiliar clothes, seemingly living a life that is not her own. The image vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving Sarah in a state of shock and disbelief. She grapples with the realization that she has just witnessed an alternate version of herself, living in a parallel reality. Sarah's groundbreaking experiment and her first-hand encounter with a parallel reality lend a powerful credibility to her theory. It provides tangible evidence suggesting that Lisa and Mark's experiences might indeed be instances of overlapping realities, moments when our reality and the parallel ones intersect, when the veil between these realities thins, allowing a brief yet profound crossover. As we dig deeper into the fascinating world of the Matrix, we find ourselves questioning the very foundation of our comprehension of reality. Are we existing in a multiverse where countless realities run parallel to our own? Could the so-called glitches in the Matrix be signs of these realities colliding, merging, and separating? The enigmas continue to unravel as we navigate further into the Matrix, pushing the boundaries of our understanding, daring to challenge the very fabric of our reality. As Sarah processes the shock of her groundbreaking discovery, she immerses herself completely into her in-depth studies, her enthusiasm driving her to comprehend the complexities of these parallel realities. She is depicted as a devoted researcher, poring over her quantum computer with unyielding determination. Her eyes, intense and focused, reflect an insatiable thirst for unlocking the secrets of the universe. The narration continues. Sarah, with her insatiable curiosity, embarks on an intellectual journey that is as enthralling as it is intimidating. As she delves deeper into the perplexities of quantum mechanics, she starts to comprehend the profound implications of her incredible findings. The voiceover narrates. The tone is filled with an air of expectation and intrigue that perfectly mirrors Sarah's state of mind. Sarah's tireless research guides her towards the exploration of the concept of quantum entanglement. This fascinating phenomenon suggests a deep and immediate connection between particles, regardless of the enormous distances that may separate them. Sarah speculates that this could be the key to understanding the intersections of parallel realities, a concept that has remained elusive until now. In the fascinating realm of quantum physics, entanglement suggests that two particles, once bound together, remain interconnected. The states of the pair instantly reflect changes in the other, no matter how far apart they are positioned. Could this same principle apply to parallel realities? The voiceover continues, echoing Sarah's speculative thoughts, inviting viewers to ponder upon this thought-provoking question. Motivated by her theory, Sarah designs an innovative experiment to test her hypothesis. She sets out to entangle a particle from our reality with one from a parallel reality, hoping that this would allow her to observe any changes that might occur. The voiceover elaborates on the experiment in painstaking detail. Sarah meticulously sets up her quantum computer to conduct the experiment. She programs it to detect the subtle changes that might occur due to quantum entanglement across realities. The tension in the air is palpable as Sarah initiates the process. Gradually, the quantum computer comes to life, its screen filled with lines of code, symbolic of the complex nature of Sarah's experiment. As the experiment unfolds, Sarah watches the quantum computer with bated breath, her heart pounding in her chest. The anticipation builds up as she waits for the result, her mind consumed the possibilities that her experiment could uncover. Then suddenly the screen lights up with an array of intricate patterns and readings. Sarah's eyes widen in disbelief as she scrutinizes the data closely. A slow realization begins to dawn on her, the implications of her experiment becoming clearer with each passing second. "The particles, they're entangled!" the voiceover exclaims, sharing Sarah's astonishment. The voice carries a sense of triumph, reflecting Sarah's joy at her successful experiment. Sarah's hypothesis is finally confirmed, and her experiment proves to be a success. She has managed to entangle particles across parallel realities effectively, providing robust evidence for her groundbreaking theory. Sarah's ability to entangle particles across different realities is a remarkable achievement that hints at the unfathomable potential of human curiosity. Yet it also raises thought-provoking questions about our understanding of our existence and identity. Are we also possibly entangled with our alternate selves in these parallel realities? And if so, what could this mean for our perception of existence, identity, and the very concept of reality? The scene concludes with Sarah staring at the quantum computer. Her face is a striking blend of triumph and awe, a testament to her incredible achievement. Her thoughts seem to echo the voiceover's final words. Sarah's groundbreaking experiment is a testament to the limitless potential of human curiosity and the wonders it can uncover. It also raises profound questions about our understanding of reality. Are we too entangled with our alternate selves in these parallel realities? And if so, what does this mean for our perception of identity, existence, and the very fabric of reality itself? Sarah, having successfully entangled particles from different realities, now finds herself on the precipice of an uncharted realm of reality. The voiceover starts ponderously. From her unique vantage point with the particles entangled, Sarah now stands at the threshold of an unprecedented journey. A doorway to a world that has only existed in our dreams and fanciful musings. A world that is as enigmatic as it is enticing. The screen fades to black before the scene transitions to show Sarah, her face bathed in the eerie glow emanating from the quantum computer, a stark contrast to the dimly lit room. Sweat trickles down her forehead, each drop representing her mounting mixture of exhilaration and trepidation as she prepares to cross the Rubicon, her fingers poised meticulously over the keyboard. She draws in a deep breath, holding on to the stillness of the moment before it shatters. And then, with the swiftness and precision of a seasoned pianist, she lets her fingers dance over the keys, sending a resounding command to the entangled particles. The voiceover continues with a tone of suspense. Sarah, with the courage of an explorer and the precision of a scientist, commences the next crucial phase of her pioneering experiment. She sends a carefully calibrated signal to one particle, in hopes of discerning any resulting changes in its entangled from the unexplored parallel reality. The quantum computer hums, a soothing yet haunting melody as it processes the command, its screen peppered with lines of complex code that tell a story of their own. The story of Sarah's daring venture into uncharted territories of reality. She watches, her heart hammering in sync with the rhythmic hum, her breath hitching in her chest. The room becomes a vacuum, devoid of sound except for the steady, mesmerizing hum of the quantum computer. Suddenly the screen flickers, an abrupt change in its steady rhythm. It is filled with an array of data, the results of her command. An astonishing change. The particle's counterpart from the parallel reality is reacting to the signal. The voiceover announces, reflecting Sarah's wide-eyed astonishment. The data on the screen, a map of uncharted territory, confirms it. The particles are communicating. They are reaching out to each other, extending their tendrils across the boundaries of their realities, a feat that was considered impossible until now. But then, in an unexpected turn of events, the quantum computer flickers again, this time displaying an ominous error message. System overload, rebooting. The voiceover narrates, yet the experiment doesn't proceed as smoothly as Sarah had anticipated. The quantum computer, stretched beyond its capabilities by the complexities of the data, stumbles and falls, shutting down. Sarah is momentarily thrown off balance by this sudden turn of events, but she quickly regains her footing. She realizes with a touch of bitterness and a hint of awe that her experiment has far-reaching implications that she hadn't anticipated. The voiceover continues with a tinge of resignation. Sarah's experiment, a remarkable feat in its own right, has thrown open Pandora's box of possibilities, but it has also shed light on the limitations of our technology. The quantum computer's system overload is a stark, undeniable reminder of how much we still have to learn about our own creations. Sarah, undeterred by this setback, is more determined than ever to explore the mysteries of parallel realities. Her resolve only strengthens with every hurdle that crosses her path. The scene ends with Sarah, a fiery determination in her eyes, rebooting the quantum computer. The voiceover concludes, despite the setback, Sarah is undeterred. She knows that this is only the beginning. With the knowledge she now possesses, there's no telling what she could discover next. In the aftermath of the quantum computer's shutdown, the voiceover chimes in. As we've seen, the journey into the unknown is fraught with challenges. But isn't it the pursuit of knowledge that drives us forward? Isn't it the exhilarating thrill of discovery that keeps us pressing on despite the odds? The screen transitions to a montage of Sarah's journey so far. Her late-night laundry run, the mysterious drive-thru encounter, her unsettling investigation, and her brave venture into the parallel realities. The voiceover continues. Like Sarah, we too are on a journey of discovery. delving into the heart of these fascinating stories, unearthing the mysteries of our existence, and exploring the infinite possibilities that lie within the realm of science and technology. And we're thrilled to have you join us on this journey. As the montage plays out, the voiceover says, "If you're as captivated by Sarah's story as we are, if you're as intrigued by the mysteries of parallel realities, if you share our thirst for knowledge and discovery, then we invite you to join us on this journey." The screen transitions to a static image with the YouTube channel's logo and a call to action. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Together we can push the boundaries of our understanding, explore the unexplored, and delve deeper into the mysteries of our universe. The voiceover echoes this sentiment. Your support could help us reach more people, spark more conversations, and inspire more explorations. Let's embark on this journey together. The scene ends with the image of the quantum computer rebooting, its screen flashing with lines of code, symbolizing the continuation of Sarah's journey. The voiceover concludes, "Stay tuned as we venture further into the enigma of parallel realities and witness Sarah's relentless pursuit of knowledge. Until the next time, keep exploring."